Good morning. I will call to order this regularly scheduled meeting of the Executive Committee for the City of Minneapolis, October 22nd, 2014. I am Betsy Hodges, Mayor, Chair of the committee, joined this morning by Councilmember Gordon, Council President Johnson, and Councilmember Reich. We are a quorum of the committee and can conduct the city's business. We have two items on our agenda today. First is a discussion item from the Department of Human Resources on the smoke-free environment policy. Following that, we will also have an item for a closed session regarding a potential closed session regarding labor negotiations. But the first item is the smoke-free environment policy. And we're ready to go. Good morning. Thank you for being here, Mr. Bernardi.
Good morning, Mayor Hodges, members of the Executive Committee. My name is Chuck Bernardi. I'm from the City of Minneapolis Human Resources Department. I'm here to present information on the proposed smoke environment policy, which is written to comply or be aligned with the Minnesota state law that was changed earlier to include electronic delivery devices, including e-cigarettes. Development of the proposed policy and procedures has been a collaborative cross-departmental effort with key contributions from many departments, including the City Attorney's Office and the Health Department, including staff Mike Bloom and Laura Pratt from the Health Department. This morning, the staff is recommending the rescission of Council Resolution number 93R-156, entitled Calling for a Smoke-Free Environment in All Places Where City Employees Work, Indoor Building Spaces, and Vehicles, and replace it with the proposed policy that is proposed to go into effect on April 1st, 2015. We're also asking that the procedures that were developed to support the smoke-free environment policy be received and filed. We're also asking that the Council ultimately direct city departments and staff to carry out their roles and responsibilities as defined in the proposed smoke-free environment procedures, and also finally direct the Human Resources Department to place the policy and procedures in the policy library. Under the proposed policy, the Facilities, Space, and Asset Management Committee will be authorized to designate areas on city-owned property away from public entrances where smoking and electronic delivery devices will be allowed. And that's all I have this morning. Do you have any questions?
Questions for Mr. Bernardi, Councilmember Gordon.
I have a couple questions, and I'm very supportive of this. My first question is, this does not include City Hall, is that correct?
I'm going to have to defer to, it does include City Hall? It does not.
Okay. So if we might want to ask some of our representatives on the Building Commission to look at this a little bit. I know that there is a lot of tobacco use that goes on one of the entrances, and I don't necessarily know if we should take that away from people or not, but that's something to think about. I also had another question because I noticed that the smokeless kind of tobaccos that you hear about, the snuff, the chewing tobacco kind of things aren't listed on here. So those essentially are still, or those will be allowed on city property and vehicles, or what? And what's the rationale with that?
Mayor Hodges, Councilmember Gordon, it's my understanding that there was a long debate about including smokeless tobacco, and based on the discussions, it was decided not to include that at this time. I do not have all of the details on that.
Oh, okay. So we don't know what the rationale was behind those discussions, but we know there were some discussions, and that was the decision that was made, and this is a compromise that's coming forward.
Ms. Ferguson, did you want to address the question?
Thank you.
Members, Patience Ferguson with the Human Resources Department. Part of the reason why we decided not to include that was because of the concern of how we would be able to enforce that consistently. We talked with labor, we talked with departments, and so it's more about making sure that we could consistently enforce that, and that's a little bit more challenging. And so that was why we made that decision. We vetted it with the City Attorney's Office. We also vetted it with department heads as well as labor.
Thank you.
Other questions for Mr. Bernardi about the policy? If not, I will move the staff recommendation. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, abstention, that carries. And thank you very much for your work on this, and please convey thanks back to the team of people who worked on it.
Will do. Thank you very much. Have a great morning.
We will now adjourn to room 315, City Hall, for consideration of a closed session of the Executive Committee for the purpose of discussing labor negotiations, a tentative 3-year agreement with the Minneapolis Professional Employees Association, and a tentative 2014 wage reopener agreement with the Police Officers Federation of Minneapolis.